The new companion will be completely overpowered, and I'm actually all here for it. And that's due to a combination of the new unique tuning stone and also some possible infinite resource generation shenanigans. First, how does the companion work? You can choose 2 out of 12 active abilities, here Impale and Protect, and each of these abilities can improve by 3 tuning stones. There's 27 different ones to choose from, including the 2 unique ones. By the way, this document is also in the description below with the general evergreen information, Season 3 general information about the new gameplay loop. Check it out if you like. Now, why am I saying overpowered, especially with the new unique glyph? For this, we'll dive into some of the possible combinations that you can do with the governing and the tuning stones. First, the unique tuning stone, Evernight. The supported skill grants you +4 to all skills when used for 2 seconds. This means to you, it's like a Shaco, like a Harlequin crest. All your skills +4 for 2 seconds. Now it says the supported skill when used. That means Bushwhack, Focus Fire, or any of the other 12 skills. And here the most important keyword is for 2 seconds. If that's the duration, then I'll just simply have to find an ability that attacks every 2 seconds. And here's 2 of them, Gyrate and Focus Fire. Speed, 3 seconds. The Seneschal Construct channels a ray of fire onto 2 targets, dealing 24,000 total damage to each over 3 seconds. That would already be every 3 seconds, and the damage is actually quite insane. Very important. The robot actually gets your stats, your critical strike chance, your critical strike damage, your plus fire damage. Whatever you can imagine goes over to your bot, which for a Bone Spear build that does a lot of physical damage is quite crazy considering Gyrate every 2 seconds. First candidate. The Seneschal Construct whirls its legs around, quickly dealing 10,000 physical damage to all nearby enemies. 10,000 physical damage. Bone Spear pushes physical damage higher, especially also with your gear, like 20% physical damage plus and so on. And your critical strike chance plus damage is going to be boosted a lot. Now this one casts every 2 seconds, which then activates our Evernight glyph every 2 seconds. But that's only 1 tuning stone because we can put 2 more on. Now let's assume we've taken Gyrate over here. That's our ability. Construct whirls around, deals damage to surrounding enemies. Now, if you're a Barbarian, for example, you could also take Bleeding Support because a portion of the skill's damage is now Bleed, which synergizes well with Barbarian aspects. Or have it do Burning for you, so you don't have to take the Firebolt enchantment as a sorceress. What we should really look at though is Breaking Support. Damage from the supported skill instantly destroys enemy barrier effects, really good. In addition, there's a chance to make enemies vulnerable for 2 seconds, which means that your dude goes in, whirls around, makes them vulnerable, gives you bonus ranks to whatever skills you're using, and then you can blast out your damage. For example, my Blood Surge build, which needs everyone to be vulnerable constantly, that is a little bonus, especially when it attacks every 2 seconds with a Gyrate. And if you want to be funny, you can add Registered Damage Support, because any damage dealt now by the skill, enemies on death explode. Just like the Barber Heart, you're back in action. So you have a whirling, twirling robot going in every 2 seconds, every 1 hit explodes, and your ranks get boosted by +4. That's not everything. This is your 1 stone. What about your 2nd stone, which could be Flash of Adrenaline? Flash of Adrenaline says, administers a quick flash of adrenaline into the player, granting him bonus damage. That one can be paired together with the duration support, where your skill has now a longer duration, so more bonus damage longer, with the tactical support that the cooldown of the flash adrenaline is reduced, and the safeguard lately, when used, the supported skill grants damage reduction to you. Alternatively, on the Gyrate, instead of having it do bonus explosive damage, you could also every 2 seconds, and again that's every 2 seconds, use resource support. Player gains an amount of primary resource when supporting skills first deals damage. So every 2 seconds a Gyrate, and then every 2 seconds you get bonus resource. Now there might be an attack that attacks even faster, and that's where we're talking then about Swift support. The supported skills gain an attack speed bonus, so you make it attack even faster, and then you essentially use your resource support that we just talked about to get everything back even faster. My favorite one though might be Lightning Bolt. Here's a short clip of what it actually does. Lightning Bolt has an immense area effect, and if you now pair Lightning Bolt together with breaking support that you're able to make everyone vulnerable again as it arcs through and you make everyone vulnerable. Again, the Blood Surge build, which needs everyone to be vulnerable. But not only that, now you could have the Lightning Bolt go with a registered damage where everything again explodes after they die. So your Lightning Bolt hits, it registers damage to everyone. Everyone has registered damage going on, and then they boop, 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 just mass chain reaction, explode and destroy everything. Well, and on top, you could then decrease the cooldown of the supported skill or slap on Evernight for the +4 ranks, because that's what we need. We'll always need to have Evernight for the +4 ranks. Now, don't worry, our friends Druids and Rogues also have some amazing stuff going on, because poison support. A portion of the supported skill damage dealt is applied as poison damage over time. The poison has a chance each second to spread all poison damage to an additional enemy. That means all poison damage though, so everything you put on this, even you and you as the Rogue or the Druid, and then all that poison can spread after your dude put it on. Zero complaints about that. Here's one that seems useless at first, called Auto Defense, where the construct actually gets all the projectiles being shot at you sucked into it. And technically, that doesn't seem all too good, but practically, you're going into that trap dungeon where the traps shoot at you, and you're going to be losing your warding spells and all that kind of stuff. So it might be useful to have the auto defense for more loot, especially as you can reduce the cooldown of that one as well. Fortify you, yes, when the construct uses the supported skill, you gain Fortify. If there's more cooldown on the skill, more Fortified is gained. A Sorc can't really gain Fortify, or a Rogue very easily. So like this, just another 10% bonus damage reduction. And then you can also increase the duration of the thing just being online. Now a final one you should absolutely be excited about, and that's efficiency support. When the supporting skill deals damage, you gain critical strike chance to the same target's hit. Interesting is, this one works against bosses, because not everyone works against bosses. If you have electrocution support that stuns, or you can't stun bosses, you can only stagger them, so it's kinda useless. Or the slow support, which is cool to have to slow everyone around you, especially if you then can pull people together with the gripping support on top, which makes no sense versus a boss. Then with the efficiency support, that would be a safe critical strike chance on a gyrate, which does do work every 2 seconds. And that finally with Evernight for the 4 ranks again, to then have your actual Bone Spear, for example, do even more multiplicative damage to then be critting more. All in all, the possibilities of the construct seem quite amazing, and I'm super excited for this. We'll definitely be creating a tier list with all these skills after we get some time to test it this season. What are some combinations that you're excited about as you've been looking at the list? Again, in the description below. Also want to see more theory craft or the first gameplay this season. Enjoy.